And Paolo, again, this is right in that Tony Soprano pattern I'm putting together. What do you think Paolo said to her? He said, all right, here's what you're going to do. He started helping her. And he said, but she alleges that she saw emails where Paolo was conferring with the prosecutor to try to bring about these charges. Because again, she's now married to another doctor. No one else can have her. Only Paolo can. And so they go and throw a bunch of charges at the doctor and also at her. They throw her in jail. She describes this, I believe, as like when she was still in jail in June 2025. And this was one part, like there's a little language barrier here, obviously. Like Amanda speaks English well, but not perfectly, I'd say. And so there was one part where she had said earlier, like she was out on bail, but then later said, no, I was in jail when ICE came to get her. And when I clarified that with her, she says that ICE got her from jail while she was trying to make bail. I believe that's how she put it. So that's what I'm going with. This part gets a little foggy for me. But ICE gets her, and then she's being held by ICE. And what she alleges is that in August of 2025, she reached out through an intermediary to Melania Trump for help. And Melania did not give her any help whatsoever. And so she was like, fuck this. And so in October, she's in front of the judge. And this part I have not seen reported anywhere. In fact, I don't think our reporting said this at all. At this point, again, she's been held by ICE, and I'm going to get back to where Paolo plays a role in that. But at this point, she asked the judge to deport her. And the reason was she feared for her life. There had been reports, obviously we hadn't gotten the Epstein files released yet, but there have been reports long-standing reports about Paolo and his ties to Epstein and this whole network and all that. And she said, I fear for my life, just deport me. This is what she told me. I don't know. Maybe some of our sleuths out there can go get court records of this. I don't even know if that exists. That's way above my pay grade. But this is what she told me. And she was then sent to Louisiana, maybe like the next day, and deported to Brazil. Paolo is alleged, and he has been publicly alleged, and there's a lot here, I think, that supports that, to have called in a favor to someone high up at ICE because Paolo has some fake Prestige Worldwide job. It's technically not fake, but to you and me, it's fake. With the White House that makes him a special envoy to some bullshit. And so he uses his connection, calls up this guy. Can we pull up that Warren letter and type in find next Zampolli? And we'll get to the paragraph where I can read this out. But he leans on this ICE guy and says, the mother of my kid is running into problems and she doesn't have a green card and whatever, and you should look at it. And that is what caused ICE to look at her case and to take her, as I understand it, into custody in the first place. So this is from a letter that Senator Elizabeth Warren, also known as Pocahontas in some circles, Joey Deef, sent to, who did she send this to? This was to the guy himself. Yeah. Yeah. To David Venturella, who is now the acting director of ICE. He was not at the time, but he was high up at ICE. When she sent this letter, he was acting director. And in the letter, she says, I'm also concerned by other reports of your behavior. You allegedly called ICE officials in Miami for a personal or political favor to detain a Brazilian woman, referring to Amanda, before she was able to post bail. That woman was the ex-wife of Paolo Zampolli, a longtime Trump associate and ally who was embroiled in a custody battle. If true, these allegations would be an inappropriate and extraordinary abuse of power. They raise profound concerns about your professional judgment and your willingness to weaponize federal immigration enforcement to assist politically connected allies of the president. Amanda says that because Paolo did this, it was a leverage play. And she also spoke to, I think it was around the time that she spoke to Melania, she spoke to Paolo as well. And Paolo, again, this is right in that Tony Soprano pattern I'm putting together. What do you think Paolo said to her? He said, all right, here's what you're going to do. He started helping her. And he said, just blame the whole thing on the doctor and he's going to go to prison. And what happens when he goes to prison? Well, now she don't have a husband. And that was her ticket out. This is what Amanda alleges. Paolo was giving her a ticket out saying, yeah, we'll take care of it and you'll be fine. And she said, her exact line was, she said, so I say no, I stay in prison. Like no hesitation, like that's what it was. And you know what? Sticking by her man. That's on some principles right there, because that was at a high risk to herself, if that allegation is true, to do that. So then it ends up with her being deported in October, and that was because she was worried that Paolo was trying to kill her. So I said I was going to bring this back on the timeline. After we went through all that and I got some of that cleared up, again, some of it, like I said, is still foggy to me. I went back to the Epstein, Melania Trump alleged connection here, which is what brought Amanda Ungaro into the spotlight in April. So Amanda had started tweeting things publicly, making some claims about, I'm paraphrasing, knowing where the bodies are buried, went viral on Twitter.
Yep.
She was talking directly to Melania. Then Melania comes out and gives that 6-minute speech, which we covered here on this show, where she goes, I am here to support the victims. They need to be heard in the Senate and Congress. And it's like, okay, where's this energy been for a long time? Strange. Yeah. Donald Trump claimed that at the time that he didn't know she was even going to do that. That was kind of interesting. Whether or not that's true or not, it's interesting no matter what. And it would suggest that Melania Trump, it strongly suggested to me at the time, and it continues to suggest to me, that Melania Trump was concerned about things Amanda Ungaro could say. Now, that doesn't mean she's concerned that Amanda Ungaro has proof or would come out with some proof that, like, Melania was introduced to Trump by Epstein. I'm going to get to what Amanda said about that in a minute, because she was, again, when she's incentivized to say some things,
she doesn't.
She doesn't. That's interesting. That's a check mark in the that feels somewhat honest to me box, because you never know with these situations. And I haven't had a chance to sit down with her in person and whatever. Obviously, she's in Brazil. It's like you don't know what to believe in these circles, no matter who it is. But she said, I said, when did you meet Melania Trump? And she said, on the plane. And I went, what? It's like, and she goes, no, Trump's plane. I was like, all right, you got to say that.
Yeah.
He can't say the plane when you just told me you got to the United States on the Lolita Express. I was like, did we get that? What the fuck? But anyway, so it was on Trump's plane, because when she was dating Paolo, they would hang out with Trump. They would go on his jet. She mentioned dinners at Cipriani. Where have we covered that, Joey Deep? I think we covered some dinners at Cipriani that happened on this show for sure. But, you know, she very specifically said that. And so she met Melania on the plane. And I said, when you were with Melania on the plane, at this time, Amanda's around 18, 19 years old. I said, did you ask her how she met Donald? And she said, no. She goes, but I was at some sort of cocktail reception in that time period with Trump and Paolo. And Paolo, in a way of, like, I don't know, trying to brag to her, said to Donald, he goes, Donald, tell Amanda how you met Melania. And allegedly Trump said, it was Paolo that introduced us. And Amanda said, I didn't believe that for a second. But that's what was said to her. And so that's what she reported. And that has been reported in the past, that it was Paolo Zampolli who introduced Melania to Donald, which would mean, if that's true, it was not Epstein himself, which would at least remove that as a potential scandalous event. It still makes you wonder why Melania came out and suddenly said something like that when Amanda started talking. So what other things could be there that Amanda could know? And when I kind of broached that topic with her, she didn't, like, give me salacious shit or like, oh, I know that this happened. Again, she was very much like, I don't know. There's another thing that she mentioned that we are going to keep off the record that, again, didn't involve Amanda making a clear claim as it pertains to anything related to Melania and Trump with Epstein at all. So, again, interesting. She did wonder, like, she mentioned when Melania first came to the United States, which was shortly before Amanda did. She was very well-to-do and put together. And what Amanda meant by that is she's like, models that came over here, they didn't wear all the highest end stuff and, you know, allegedly live in a nice place and stuff like that. You know, it's not like they looked homeless or anything. They're models, to be clear. But like the insinuation was that Melania, she went like this. That's what Amanda did.
Yeah.
Could be innocent, could not. She thought that was interesting. I want to continue the conversation with Amanda. This was like a good start. I have a lot more questions. I would imagine you guys are going to comment some questions down below, some open-ended questions you want. Again, as I said a few minutes ago, I haven't had a chance to sit with her face-to-face and you know.
Might have to go to Brazil.
Yeah, do the human lie detector thing and all that. There's a lot of weird shit. And there's some stuff I kept off record in there as it pertains to other things that I don't think are related in any way to certainly the Epstein case, but matters at hand here. But, you know, she's had an interesting, very interesting life and has definitely seen some things that maybe could be helpful to investigations, maybe could not. But I do want to say, and Amanda's obviously going to see this before I put it out, so she's hearing me say everything I'm telling you right now. Fan of the show, by the way, Joey Deef.
Fan of the show.
Yeah, I think she's a fan of Joey Deef. I think that's why she watches. Amanda.
Can you blame her?
But I couldn't blame her. But, you know, definitely, Amanda definitely has a bone to pick with Paolo. And I understand that. And so you wonder where maybe some bias could come in on that. But again, when she has a chance to put him dead to rights on the stuff that is the soup du jour of the moment that we would all eat up, she does not. And she's incentivized to. So just keep that in mind. But interesting conversation, and I'm sure we'll cover that some more moving forward. But I mentioned at the outset, my very good friend, longtime friend, one of my few friends in my industry, actually, I don't know a ton of people in this industry yet, is Danny Jones. Danny Jones has an amazing show down in Florida. I've been on it a few times with him as well, and he's actually coming up here to be on my show again sometime soon, so looking forward to that. Thank you guys for watching the episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. They're both a huge, huge help. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram and X, those links are in my description below.